Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining this trend following channel, which is a daily video update on what happened in the markets today. I cover the major markets, their trending, some charts, also cover the SPX sectors, the Magnificent Seven, and if some other sectors are interesting, then I cover them here. Commodities, currencies, bonds, once in a while, not every day. And then a special item, which happens to be today, Bitcoin. We obviously have heard the news about the several ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs, spot ETFs, I should say, started trading in the markets today. And so we'll see where things stand on that. It'll just be a high level today because it's the first day of the trading. But anyway, without any further, let's get on with this. So here's the market moves today, starting with the major markets here. You see the SPY, which is the S&P 500. I also track the equal weight, which is the RSP, the equal weight S&P 500, the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ 100, the IWM Russell 2000, and the DIA, which is the Dow Jones 30, right? So we can see that QQQ and the DIA actually eked out small gains at the end of the day. They were massively down. The whole markets were massively down, but kind of recovered at the end of the day today a little bit. Among the sectors, you can see that XLK and XLE are higher, and everybody else, XLU especially, way down here, right? So 9 of the 11 sectors were down. And then high level Magnificent Seven, you have 3 up, 4 down. Big loser is the Tesla, and we look at the chart for that. Also, Apple has been on the news, not doing well. We'll look at the chart for that too. And then NVDA, it's really going gangbusters. Moving on to the trending heat map. So basically, the way I look at this is, price against simple moving averages. I try to keep it simple. I look at several simple moving averages. I start with the 5-day, the 10-day, the 20-day, and then obviously the crossovers are important as well. So you have the 5-day over the 20-day. Is the first signal I look at, and then 10-day over 20-day, and then 50-day over the 200. So this is what I call as my trending heat map. And this allows me to basically look at not just what the market looks like today, but how it got there, right? So if you look at this, SPY is completely bullish. Everything green means it's really bullish. And this bold and italics today, that was a change today. So 5-day crossed over the 20-day today, which is a bullish sign. But when we look at the charts, you will see that they're all pretty bunched up. So really doesn't mean much right now, except for the fact that IWM, which was a high flyer over the last 2 months in 2023, has really, really lost steam. Not only lost steam, but really losing a lot of ground. Today also, it lost a lot of ground. And then QQQ is somewhat negative. It picked up today. I guess we saw that it was higher today. But all in all, you have more green. So clearly the market is still bullish. There are some signs that there could be some exhaustion. And when we look at the charts, you will see what I'm talking about. Advances, declines, this is all the total US market, there's about 9,000 odd stocks. And I get this every day, which is like how many advanced, how many declined, and how many were unchanged. And if you look at it today, by this, you may not be able to say, but we had a much, much higher number of declines today, right? 56% of the stocks declined, only 35 advanced. So that's a big gap out there. I don't know if it's a foreshadow of telling something that's coming in the future. Clearly, the markets were shaken early on today during the early trading, after the release of the CPI data, which came in hot. But we'll see if that carries on or what happens. Tomorrow, don't forget, we have the bank earnings. So earnings season has started. So it'll be even more interesting. Looking at the SPY chart, right? So on the left-hand side is basically the 3-month chart, which tells you the here and now a little bit. You can see the big bull run. And then on the right-hand side is the same chart, but over 1 year, right? It's still, both are daily charts. And if you look at the left-hand side, this is basically this part of the move, right? So we can see that it's in an uptrend. We can also see that it's hitting up something that it hit in December. So I don't know if this is a double top. I don't really believe in double tops, and resistance levels, support levels are very good indicators in terms of what potentially could happen, where it may stop or where it may hesitate and things like that. So this could be a point where the market hesitates. Clearly, it tried to go higher today and it couldn't, because we see this. And I guess from a pattern perspective, this is also a little bit of a bearish kind of an indicator. I think it's called a doji. It's probably a bearish indicator as well. But, you know, at the end of the day, the price is the price. And we saw that, you know, SPY is all bullish. Unless this changes, we are not, at least I'm not doing anything in the market, right? So that's SPY. This is QQQ, very similar, except that it had a positive end today. Very similar. However, when we looked at this, you can see that the trending is a little bit weaker than the SPY. So we'll have to see how things go in the future. Going to the IWM, clearly very weak. There is no question about it. The price is below the 5-day, below the 10-day, below the 20-day. The 5 is below the 20, the 10 is below the 20. I mean, all kinds of bad things in this chart. One thing I forgot to mention, these yellow things that you see here, they're basically levels at where we've had gaps, in price gaps, I mean. So you can see that this here is one level where the price fell from a higher level to the next level and created a gap. I like to keep this in perspective, not necessarily use them as any actionable indicators. It just tells me what happened in the past. And, you know, typically these gaps have a way of filling themselves at some point in time. But we can never predict, or we can never forecast when it'll fill, right? It's just that there is a gap. Be aware of it. So that's what this is. So IWM, clearly very weak. No question about it. Looking at the Dow Jones, the DIA, which typically I don't trade, but I like to look at it just because it completes the major markets. Certainly, I would say the best among the lot. It's clearly, it touched a high today, and maybe it closed at a high. Maybe not. Maybe it did not close at a high, but certainly the best among the lot. The reason I don't trade this is that it's not very liquid, first and foremost, and secondly, it's a kind of a funny index in that it is price weighted. Which really doesn't tell me anything. Of course, it's the top 30 stocks, so that's a good thing, but price weighted doesn't tell me anything, right? So it's kind of a mystery how this works. Anyway, I wanted to put together this WIX, the volatility index chart, and this is a long, very long term. The only reason I put this here is I wanted to show where we are in terms of relative to where we have been. This is a 5-year chart, and you can see we are almost hanging in there at the very bottom end of it, right? So every time it has reached here now, it's spiked up. The only thing is that it can be here for a long time. You see here, it was here that reached a low at 11, and it just pretty much stayed here, had some spikes here and there, but all I'm saying is that the market seems very complacent right now. There's no volatility. Everybody is happy. Things are very good. So, you know, Not really cause for concern, but it's the only way, the only direction that this can go is higher. And we know what happens when it goes higher. Stock markets usually fall, right? They give back some. There's a drawdown. So be aware of that. Here's the SPX sectors. Very interesting to see that healthcare is the best performing here. You can see over the last several weeks, we have seen that. And then energy is not getting a bid at all. It's completely blown away. And so maybe this is a good time to reverse from healthcare, take your gains and put it into energy. Although I wouldn't recommend that because my system is very clear. I look for the trend really to change. I wait for it. I let the market come to me as opposed to just looking at this chart and taking an action, right? I want to see XLE start to, so when XLE starts to turn, what's going to happen is that this 5-day, this column will first become green, then this one, then this one, and so on and so forth, right? So I will see the progression at which it is actually reversing. And I don't really want to catch it exactly when it reverses. I want to catch it when it's reversing. What that means is I'll probably wait for it to go over the 5-day, go over the 10-day, maybe even go over the 20-day. And somewhere here, I will get in because that is likely where the short-term trend is turning, right? And then it may do certain things. But I'm just giving you an idea as to how I take actions. Again, not giving advice. People have different methods and systems, but this is my approach to it. Here's XLE. Look at this. It's really, really beaten down. And, the RSI is not even oversold yet. So this can go anywhere, right? I mean, you have a low here of $80. Okay, it may go there. It may break down. Who knows? And then, but you have a low. If you look at the whole year, the low is at 75. So I don't know where it goes. So do you want to really catch a falling knife? I don't think so, right? So I'm going to wait, let it come to me. I don't know if I want to go short either right now because, it has fallen. If I had gone short somewhere here, that would be different. But, it's really in no man's land right now. And I mean, I don't want to go long. I don't want to go short, right? So here is financials. Now, the reason I put financials is that the financials are the first ones out the gate when it comes to earnings releases, and it starts tomorrow morning, right? We have, I think, three big ones, BlackRock, JP Morgan, and Bank of America. It's had a fantastic run, right? You look at this. This is so perfect. So where does it go now? Right? It's curling a little bit, not really looking dangerous or looking like it's going to drop or anything, but does it go higher from here? It's going to be tough, right? Look at the RSI, it's at the top edge. It has tried to reverse from overbought situations several times, not happened. Market has been, buyers have come in and really picked it up. So it's nicely poised to see where it breaks. Today was a high volume day, relatively high volume, and it was a down day. So, and again, somewhat of a doji. I don't know if you call it a doji or not, but a little bit ominous to me. We'll see how it goes in the next few days, right? Here's industrials. Nothing much to say. It's a little bit here and there. Again, it's had a fantastic run. It's not really caught up to its prior high, so it's kind of underperforming the S&P 500 overall. So probably stay away for now, right? Healthcare. Oh my goodness! Look at this chart. This is just amazing, right? Amazing. And the 50-day, which is the purple line, just crossed over the 200-day as well. So this probably has legs. And I would say we look for a pullback and we could get in after that. It is at overbought levels. But remember, the markets can stay overbought for a long, long time, right? And we've seen in the past that this is really not a trustable indicator to say, oh, wow, it's gone oversold, so I'm going to actually sell it now. Or sorry, it's gone overbought, so I'm going to sell it. This can stay overbought for a long time. So keep that in mind. And, but some pullback probably is something you want to wait for before pulling the trigger here, right? At least I'm not going to pull the trigger here right now. Here's the Magnificent Seven, and everything looks good except for Apple and Tesla. What can I say? The two darlings. Everything looks good. Well, Amazon a little bit, but look at this. Look at the rest of it. It's all green, all green. So, and Tesla is getting from bad to worse because today the price fell, looks like, below the 200-day, which is crazy. Here is Apple. It's very weak. There's no question about it. Price just moved above the 5-day, but still below the 20-day, below the 10-day. I don't know if you want to play the short side. Looks like it's already almost had another 50% retracement from where it had started to go up. If you look here, so this could be anything, right? We can wait and watch, and earnings are coming up, so nothing to be done right now. NVDA, fantastic run. This doesn't look like it's going to stop. It had a fantastic breakout. Look at this. How many times it touched? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and the sixth time, boom, it's gone parabolic from there. I missed this one. I was into it and then kind of got out of it before this big run. So we'll see when to get in again. It is in overbought levels as well. But again, like I said, overbought doesn't mean anything. It can stay overbought for a long time. Tesla. Wow. Yes, it did cross below the 200-day simple moving average, which is really bad. It did gap down today, so there is that gap fill potential. I don't think it happens tomorrow, but who knows, right? Markets have a way of doing things, so we'll see. But this looks so much like it's going to come all the way down to 200, maybe. I don't know. It is looking bad. The interesting thing is both the 50-day and the 200-day are still kind of climbing, right? So if this is just a temporary thing and it goes back, we don't know. But if you look at the 10-day and the 20-day, they are really, really falling. So until and unless something happens with those moving averages, I wouldn't consider getting into it on the long side at all. And again, I played this on the short side a few days back. I'm out of it now. I don't want to play the short side either until I see what happens with the major markets. If they tell me that the markets are going down, then maybe Tesla is again a good buy on the short side, or I guess a good shot, right? All right, let's get to the final piece of it, the topic of the day, which is Bitcoin. Well, it was actually yesterday that the SEC approved the 11, I think it was 11 Bitcoin spot ETFs. Now, spot ETFs are different from the futures, which was the BITO, which was I guess approved 2 years back and has been trading for a bit. That's the futures ETF, but Bitcoin spot means that it actually should be tracking exactly the price of Bitcoin on a tick-by-tick basis, right? So we'll see how that goes. Today was the first day of trading, so nothing really to say. They had ups and downs, and I think most of them at the end closed down, but that's really nothing to go by. I would say let's wait for at least a week and see which of these ETFs actually gets good traction in terms of people getting into it. Assets under management, as they call it, AUM. And then we can start looking at them. But so far, GBTC is the only one that had some history. And it got converted to an ETF. So we can look at the GBTC chart, which I will right now, and the BITO chart. Now, remember one thing, what is very important is that Bitcoin itself trades 24/7 in the crypto exchanges like Coinbase, whereas the ETF only trades regular stock market hours. So we need to remember that, because and remember, Bitcoin is not just trading in the US, it's trading globally in several different exchanges. So what happens in the night when we are sleeping here in the US, what happens in Asia can actually have a major impact for the opening trade in the US, right? So that's why it's very important to note that Bitcoin trades 24/7 globally, and the ETFs are only trading here in US stock market hours. All right, let's look at some charts. This is on the left-hand side is the BITO that I was talking about. On the right-hand side is GBTC. Both have a nice curve, right? We know that Bitcoin has been really doing well. There's no question about it, in anticipation of these ETFs. GBTC is a little bit misleading because it had a big discount, which it caught up when the market realized that the GBTC is going to be converted into an ETF. The discount basically went away, and so part of the gains that they have had, I think like 300% or something, is because of the discount to Bitcoin going away, right? So I think Bitcoin moved up by about 160%, whereas GBTC has moved up about 300%. So I am invested in GBTC because of the discount factor, and primarily the reason being that if it's converted into an ETF, then the discount will go away, and that's what's been happening over the last 3-4 months. So these have some history. Both have, like I said, BITO has been trading for 2 years. GBTC has some trading history, so we see it here. So that's why I put these up. But the more important thing was the crypto stocks, right? These are the 3 crypto stocks which I picked up, and I said we'll cover them today. This one is Coinbase, and you see it was down minus 6.7% today, and even though Bitcoin price has been going up, Coin has been coming down, and maybe the reason is that I don't care much about reasons, but the only thing I can think of, the reason I say I don't care about reason is because price is the truth, right? Doesn't matter why something is happening as long as you know what is happening, because what is actionable is what is happening, not why it is happening. Anyway, that's philosophical, and we won't get into that, but Coinbase apparently could have a little bit of a challenge, because now that ETFs are available to trade, many people may move from actually trading or holding Bitcoin and move on to the ETFs, which are now easy to invest in, right? Even BlackRock and Fidelity and the big guys are into it now. MicroStrategy was down minus 5%. The MicroStrategy holds Bitcoin in their balance sheet, billions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So it has become a proxy for the Bitcoin price, except lately, right? You see here again, it's been rising along with Bitcoin, and all of a sudden over the last, what is this? This is about, I would say, 2 weeks. It's really been falling, right? And then Marathon is a miner, right? So their stock market, their stock price should go up with the price of Bitcoin going up. Of course, they're a regular company, so they have to also manage the costs of mining, but that had a big fall today, minus 12.6%. No real reason, I think, is just maybe some profit taking. I don't know, maybe, like they say, sell the news, buy the rumor, sell the news. And yesterday was the news. Today was the first day that you could trade after the news. So maybe some knee-jerk reaction. I think if Bitcoin price goes up, which is very likely, Marathon stock price is going to go up. When that happens, we don't know. So again, trend following, that's why we follow the trends, right? All right, I think that's it for today. And thank you for joining. And this is, like I said, a daily analysis, daily review of what happened in the market and what actions are actionable, what trends are actionable. There is a blog, the alternatetrader.substack.com, and the Twitter handle is @alternatetrader.